Hey everyone, Reese here, and as you can see I've got a bit of a change of scenery today. The reason being that I have this huge box to show you, so I thought I'd come and film on the other side of my little man cave here. It's just a bit easier to fit this in sort of in the middle of the room here, just so I can show you what I'm doing as I unbox it. Now, speaking of man caves, the reason I have this box is because of a fellow YouTuber called Retro Man Cave. It's run by a really nice guy called Neil. First discovered his channel probably 2 years ago. He's been a really big inspiration to me, and I've kind of been following him quite closely in his growth over the past couple of years. And he very recently decided to clean up some computers and sell them in a charity auction. The charity is a local healthcare charity to him in his home county of Wiltshire called Brighter Futures. They support NHS workers and carers and even patients. Obviously, with everything that's going on in the world at the minute, I think it's very important, and I think he's doing great work in sort of selling these and raising some money to support that charity. So I thought I'd do my little bit and bid on one of his computers and happen to win it. And it just so happens that this was actually the first one that he put on sale, so this is PC number 1. He's also set up a Just Giving page for the charity, which I'll link down below. At the time of filming, he's raised about £600, which is absolutely fantastic going. In addition to the money that he's raised from the sales of the PCs, it should mean a good couple of £1,000s for the charity, so that's, you know, really top work. So my wife actually took delivery of this parcel this morning, and the very first thing that she spotted was the big silver Commodore 64 logo on the front, and I have to admit she got a bit excited and thought I'd bought a Commodore 64. Unfortunately, I had to let her down and explain that no, it's yet another boring early 2000s beige box PC. And then she kind of went back to her work, and I'm not even sure if she's talking to me now, but you know, that's it's for charity, so what can you say? So I think without further ado, let's get this thing open and have a look what's inside. So it looks like the box took a bit of a beating, which is not really surprising considering the couriers in this country. I'm sure it's the same everywhere else in the world, but Neil has packed it very well, so I'm hoping for the best. Quite a lot of bubble wrap in here. Right. Apologies for the noise there if it's a bit loud. The microphone's calibrated to my voice, so I'm sure all the unboxing noises are probably going off the charts at the second. We'll see if I can do something about that in editing. But anyway, so one of the things I suggested when he was packing up the PCs was it'd be really nice to have a certificate of authenticity with them. And I see he's put one together for me, which is very nice. He watched my Oric Atmos video, the IT crowd one, and knows I appreciate a certificate of authenticity, so there it is there. Hello Cave Dweller. This computer was kindly purchased as part of the Retro Man Cave 2020 charity fundraiser to support the NHS during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for your outstanding support. And there you go, signed by Neil there as well, so I think I'll possibly even frame that and stick it up on the wall next to the PC when it's in its final home. So thank you. And it looks like it's survived its journey pretty well, so let's see if we can get it out. So here it is, the IBM NetVista. From doing some research on the internet, I believe the model number of this one is an M41. It should be a 1.6 GHz Pentium 4. Looks like it's all arrived in one piece, which is excellent. I know there's another little touch that I asked for from Neil, so we'll just have a look inside if we can get this thing open. Really well built machines, of course, being IBM. Fantastic toolless design to get into this. Probably should have rehearsed this. There we go. And there we go on the inside of the case. He's actually signed it for me as well, so it's a shame nobody will ever get to see that, but it's a really nice little touch. Also some spare capacitors there, because these Pentium 4 machines do get very, very hot and tend to cook their own capacitors, so they're very prone to failure. So we'll just have a quick look inside. Looks like everything survived shipping very well, so it's all here. We've got the, I think that should be 256 meg of RAM there. Got the NVIDIA Vanta graphics card in there, which is the budget version of the Riva TNT, of course. I want to try and get some 3D games up and running on this and see how it copes. Can't imagine it will cope very well, but perhaps if I go for some stuff that was a few years old when this machine came out, we might get some at least acceptable results. Back in 2002, when this machine was released, I was 18 years old and very much into PC gaming, so it'd be very interesting to see how it runs some stuff from that era. So I think it's probably a good idea to get it set up and see if it's all working.
A few minutes later.
So the NetVista has now taken pride of place in my lineup here, where the IBM 5150 used to be. I've had to borrow some peripherals from my 486, like this RM monitor and the keyboard and the mouse, and of course these classic Labtech speakers. It's also hooked up to my video capture setup, so I think all that's left to do is to hit the power button and see what happens. Making some healthy noises, but I hope it boots up. Aha, and there we go. I've actually plugged this computer into my home network just so I can copy some software across from my NAS and also maybe do some internet browsing if there's anything that will work with this ancient version of Internet Explorer that comes with Windows 98. So just wait for it to get an IP address. Of course, PXE boot's enabled as well. And there we go, the classic Windows 98 boot screen. Haven't seen that in a long time. This is actually genuinely the first time I've booted this computer up, so hoping everything's in order. And there we go, the classic Windows 98 desktop. So I think before I install anything on here or, mess around with it too much, we'll just have a quick look around. Classic old Windows 98 file explorer, so we have a 40GB hard drive in here. I thought they were 20, so that's a nice bonus. Just have a look at the RAM and the CPU. So yeah, registered to RMC, and yeah, there we have our 256 meg of RAM as well. Looks like all the drivers are in order. Network driver, the most important thing, of course. And of course it has that weird onboard sound card. I didn't hear the startup sound actually when Windows 98 started. We'll have to have a look into that. Oh yeah, danger ahead. So I think this is just your basic bog standard install of Windows 98. God, this takes me back. Just have a look at what's installed. Okay, we don't seem to have any games. Would have been nice to have had Minesweeper to play with, but I think we have the cab files on here anyway, so I can install that if I decide I want to play with it later on. As we have Windows 98 and not a whole lot else on this PC, I think it's only appropriate to stick a game on there, like I mentioned before. And I was 18 years old, like I said, in 2002 when this machine was first released, and a game that I was completely obsessed with at the time was Half-Life, and I can't think of anything more appropriate, so let's get it installed and see what happens. CD drive keeps making a bit of a strange clicking noise, but we'll see if it works. Perfect. So I'll just run through the installer from the CD, just let it do its thing. Okay, that's excellent. The sound is indeed working. That's always good to see. Or hear, I guess. Wow, it's actually pretty fast. I tend to upgrade my older PCs by swapping the hard drive for a compact flash card. It means I get to miss out on those amazing hard drive sounds, but quite a bit faster and easier to work with, and easier to back up as well. But this actually seems to be going along at a fair old pace, so that's good. Nice fast CD drive and hard drives in these. I suppose it helps that this game was 4 years old by the time this PC was released, and actually the requirements for Half-Life are ridiculously low. I think it's something like a Pentium 100 MHz or... actually, I'll just check the box. Yeah, Windows 95/98, Pentium 133 Plus, 24 meg of RAM, and a double-speed CD drive. Half-Life supports a variety of 3D cards, but one is not required. So there you go. I think actually I thought this would be a test that would put this PC through its paces, but as it happens, it's probably could have been a bit more ambitious with this. But still, it's Half-Life. It's one of my favourite games of all time. My capture card doesn't seem to like the resolution that startup animation runs in for some reason, but I think it's such an important part of the experience that I had to include it here. So we'll just start a new game. We'll see how this runs.
Good morning and welcome to the Black Mesa Transit
We have a
System.
very long and
This
unskippable
automated
train journey
is
to look forward
provided
to.
for the security and convenience of the Black Mesa Research Facility personnel. The time is 8:47 a.m. Current top
So I'm running in 1024 by 768 resolution here.
degrees, with an estimated high of 105.
Not too bad actually.
The Black Mesa
The old
compound is
NVIDIA
maintained
Vanta
at
getting
pleasant
a
68
workout for
degrees
first
at
time in
all
years.
times.
There's a little bit of tearing as I move around. Didn't see any settings for VSync in
This
the
train
menus,
is
but perhaps that's something we can play
from
with.
Level 3 dormitories to Sector C test labs and control facilities. If you were
Classic
intended
intro, the
destination
robots there
is a
doing their
high
thing.
security area beyond Sector C.
But I think we'll skip ahead to some gameplay footage. It's all running and looking very nice actually, it's very playable. It's not nearly as bad on the CRT as it is on the capture device.
Hey, Mr. Freeman. I had a
Just,
bunch of
cause some
messages for you,
mayhem.
but we had a system crash about 20 minutes ago, and I'm still
As you
trying
do.
to find my file.
My God, what are you doing?
Come on, Gordon. You're trying to get...
Hello there.
So first things first, we'll just ruin this guy's lunch.
My God, what are you doing? Most of the simulation results are perfectly acceptable, you know. Why do we all...
Welcome to the HEV Mark IV
This is all...
protective system for use in hazardous environment conditions.
And we've got the CD music just starting to kick in as well, so obviously the CD audio is all working great. I think that's a pretty good test. So there we have it. If nothing else, this NetVista makes the ultimate Half-Life machine, and what more could you possibly want in life? I just wanted to thank Neil from Retro Man Cave for raising all this money for Brighter Futures. I think it's a fantastic thing. The eBay auctions are all finished now, but like I mentioned before, there is a link down in the description for the Just Giving page, so if you want to throw some money their way, please go and check that out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll hopefully see you down in the comments. Thanks for watching.